Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever checked your bank account on a Tuesday, everything looks fine, and then by Friday you're somehow overdrawn? You didn't buy anything crazy, no big splurge, no emergency. It just happened. And you're sitting there thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just get this right? Here's the thing, and this is the part nobody talks about. It might not be about what you're spending at all. It might be about when you get paid. Because your pay schedule, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or twice a month, is quietly shaping your entire financial behavior. And most people have never once thought about it. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why your budget keeps breaking. And it has nothing to do with willpower. Okay, so first, let's get on the same page about how pay schedules actually work. Weekly pay means you get a paycheck every single week. 52 checks a year. Bi-weekly, that's every 2 weeks, 26 checks a year. Semi-monthly, that's twice a month, usually the 1st and the 15th, only 24 checks a year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people think bi-weekly and semi-monthly are basically the same thing. They're not. And most people think weekly pay is always better than bi-weekly. Also not always true. The difference isn't just about how often money hits your account. It's about how your brain processes that money, how it budgets, how it decides what's safe to spend. And that gap between what actually happens in your bank account and what your brain thinks is happening, that's where the trap lives. Here's something called mental accounting. It's a behavioral finance concept, and it basically means your brain doesn't treat all money the same. When money hits your account, your brain does this automatic calculation. It asks, okay, how long does this have to last? If you get paid weekly, your brain says 7 days. This needs to last 7 days. If you get paid bi-weekly, it says 14 days. Stretch this out. Sounds reasonable, right? Except here's the problem. Most of your bills don't care about your pay schedule. Your rent doesn't come out weekly. Your car insurance doesn't either. Your electricity bill, your internet, your phone, they all hit on their own schedule, completely disconnected from when you get paid. So what happens? You get your bi-weekly check, you feel good. You've got 14 days worth of money sitting there. You buy groceries, maybe go out to eat once. You grab that streaming service you forgot you still had. And then, boom, your rent comes out on the 3rd, your car insurance on the 7th. Suddenly, your 14-day money is gone in 5 days, and your brain panics because it thought you had more time. This is the trap. Not overspending, miscalculating. Now, some of you watching this get paid weekly, and you might be thinking, wait, that sounds better. More frequent money, less of this misalignment problem. And in some ways, yeah, it can be. But weekly pay comes with its own trap. When money hits your account every 7 days, your brain shifts. It starts treating each paycheck as its own little budget cycle. Monday, payday. Everything feels fine. By Friday, you've already mentally spent it. Saturday and Sunday feel like the dead zone before the reset. Sound familiar? The problem is impulse spending. When you know more money is coming in 7 days, it's incredibly easy to justify small purchases at the end of the week. That $18 food delivery, the $12 app you downloaded, the $9.99 subscription you signed up for because there was a free trial and you figured you'd cancel it, you didn't cancel it. Each of those feels tiny because it is tiny, but they're all timed to right before your next paycheck, which means they're chipping away at money that was supposed to go towards something bigger. And here's the kicker. Weekly pay often means a smaller check amount. So even though it feels like more money more often, you're actually more vulnerable to micro-spending leaks because each check feels less significant. Okay, bi-weekly people, I saved this one for you. There are 2 months every year where bi-weekly pay means you get 3 paychecks instead of 2. Most people call this bonus month. Some people call it the gift month. I call it the most dangerous month in your financial calendar. Because what happens when that 3rd check lands? It doesn't feel like regular income. It feels like found money, like the universe just handed you a bonus. And found money gets spent differently than earned money. Research backs this up. Windfalls, unexpected deposits, tax refunds, people spend those less carefully than money they planned around. So instead of using that extra check to pay down debt, build an emergency fund, or get ahead on rent, it gets absorbed, eaten up by that vacation you have planned, the clothes you bought because you had extra, the slightly nicer dinner out. 3 weeks later, gone, and you're right back where you started. The fix isn't complicated. You just have to decide in advance what that third check is for before it lands. All right, so now you understand the trap. Let's talk about how to get out of it, or at the very least, stop it from sabotaging you every cycle. Step 1. Map your bills to your pay dates. This sounds basic, but most people have never actually done it. Sit down, right now if you want, and list every recurring bill you have, the amount, the due date, and compare it to your pay dates. You're looking for misalignment, the times when a big bill lands before your next check. Those are your danger zones. Once you see them, you can plan for them. Step 2. Create what I call a float fund. A float fund is a small buffer, usually $200 to $500, that just sits in your checking account and never gets spent. It's not savings, it's a cushion. It's what keeps you from going negative when your rent comes out 3 days before your paycheck lands. You build it once, and then you leave it there. It sounds simple because it is, but it completely eliminates overdrafts for most people. Step 3. Treat every pay cycle like a monthly budget, not a weekly one. Even if you get paid weekly, build your budget on a monthly frame. Total income for the month, total expenses for the month. This stops your brain from doing that dangerous, "I've got money for 7 days" calculation. You zoom out, you see the whole picture. And suddenly, the Impulse Friday purchase doesn't feel so harmless when you can see it's coming out of next month's grocery budget. Step 4. Pre-assign the third paycheck. If you're bi-weekly, you know when those 3 paycheck months are. Look them up right now, they're predictable, and decide today what that money is for. Debt payoff, emergency fund, specific savings goal. Name it, write it down, tell someone if you have to. The moment it lands, move it immediately. Don't let it sit. Because the worst thing you can do with extra money is give your brain time to find ways to spend it. Now you might be wondering, should I try to switch pay schedules entirely? Sometimes, yes. If you're hourly or a freelancer, you may actually have some control over when and how you invoice or request payment. Here's a general rule. Bi-weekly or semi-monthly pay tends to work better for people with fixed, predictable expenses. You get bigger checks, easier to plan around rent and utilities. Weekly pay works better for people with variable income or those who are just starting to build budgeting habits. More frequent touch points, easier to course correct. But honestly, most of the time you don't need to change your pay schedule. You need to change how you think about it. The pay schedule is just the delivery mechanism. The real problem and the real fix is in how you allocate money before you have the chance to spend it on impulse. All right, let's bring it home. You are not bad with money. I want you to hear that. What you might be is misaligned. Your pay schedule, your bill dates, and your spending habits are all on different timelines, and nobody ever taught you to sync them up. Here's what to take away from today. 1. Your brain treats every paycheck as its own budget cycle. That's not a flaw, it's how you're wired. Work with it, not against it. 2. Weekly pay creates micro-spending leaks. Bi-weekly pay creates end-of-cycle danger zones and a false sense of security around the third check. 3. The fix is simple. Map your bills. Build a float, budget monthly, and pre-assign windfalls before they hit your account. Here's your one action for this week. Go look up when your next paycheck lands and write down every bill due before the paycheck after that. Just that one exercise. You might be shocked by what you find. And you'll finally understand why the math never seemed to add up, even when you weren't doing anything wrong. If this hit home, subscribe. I do this stuff every week. And drop a comment below. Are you weekly, bi-weekly, or semi-monthly, and which trap do you fall into the most? I'll see you in the next one.